class.
I have to make my got it also. You should see the setup at my house. It's pretty impressive. So hi, my name is Megan Coleman and I work at Michael's. I've been there almost a year now, and I am a content designer for in-store classes. So some of you might be lucky enough to have a store nearby that is already doing some in-store classes. It's a very different program than we've done in the past. We have really highly trained professionals teaching these classes and teaching all sorts of things from wreath making, drawing, watercolor, chunky knit blanket is like our most popular class right now, getting ready for the holiday season with some different pumpkin painting and also some Christmas and winter activities that are coming your way also. So I am a content designer, and some of you may have purchased the all-in-one wood burning kit. And if you didn't, there's still time. So this is being recorded, and as Felicia said, you can come back to this link later. So if you didn't get a chance to download a template, or if you didn't get a chance to go ahead and get the wood burning kit, or if you can't do it while you're watching the screen because you're in a house and you might set off your fire alarm or an apartment, then you can always watch this recording later. So if you have a template, Felicia's going to put into the chat. This is the template of the project that we're doing today, and we're going to be using the all-in-one kit. We're going to go ahead and use the wood slice that's provided in the all-in-one kit, and we're going to do this beautiful hope feather today. We could all use a little of that, and we're going to be using the materials that come in the kit. If you didn't purchase the kit or you have a wood burning kit already, I'm going to show you some workarounds in case you didn't get a chance to get that. If you have a wood burning tool and you have some wood, you can take this class with us and you can play right along. So Felicia put that template into the chat. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about some of the different tools that you're going to see me using. And again, all of these materials in that list of materials is available where you signed up for your in-store class or for your online class. So we have our wood burning tool, and this is a walnut hollow wood burning tool. It comes with several different tips, and the different tips are good for different types of wood burning. If you have your wood burning tool, and if you're going to work along with me right now, you want to go ahead and turn it on using the on switch. And it takes about 2 minutes, maybe 1 or 2 minutes in order for it to get heated and ready to go. So we also have a couple of other tips. I'm going to be using this tip, which is called the flow point. It's just a very rounded edge. It's really easy for going over different wood and types of wood. And then there's also going to be something called the universal point. And the universal point kind of reminds me of like the old school calligraphy pens. So it's at that angle and it's got that sharp line going down. And then there's also something called the shading point, which looks a little bit like a leaf or a feather. And so you can go ahead and make some different textures with that shading point or cover further areas. And then we also have something called the cone cut. And the cone point just has this really fine point to it to do really small, intricate details. So all of that is in the all-in-one kit. You also have some paintbrushes, you have some Modge Podge, you have a big slice of wood, and you might even have a practice piece of wood. So all of that is available for you to be able to use during this project and hopefully future projects as well. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And I'm going to take a piece of practice wood to kind of show you a little bit about the wood burning tool. So if you happen to have, I think my kit came with this round piece, but if you have any little pieces of unfinished wood, now you definitely don't want to wood burn on something that is painted or something that already has varnish on it, because you're going to release some terrible fumes and you're not going to be happy with your results or with your health. So I have my wood burning tool ready to go. And again, I have this flow point. And I just want to try and get used to it. So if you've never picked up the wood burning tool before, this is just your very first time doing it. What you can do is go ahead and hold it kind of like a pencil. And when you are about to touch the wood, you want to make sure that you use a very consistent touch. So you want to just make a straight line, and you just want to keep going at a very slow, steady pace and very consistent to get that straight line. Now, if I'm not consistent, if I kind of like linger a little too long and then go, or go too fast, or linger a little bit too long, you're going to see a bunch of different dots. So this is kind of those hesitation points. Obviously, it's burning even further into the wooden piece, so it's getting darker there. But if you just keep a nice, even, steady flow, you don't have to press super hard. You can kind of let the wood burning tool do its work for it. You can get that nice, even line. So if you've never used your wood burning tool, go ahead and just kind of play around. After you've kind of mastered that straight line or that nice continuous line without very much hesitation or extra dots, maybe you can try and do a squiggle. Think about if you're going to be writing in cursive, how you can keep that steady pressure. And try and do some dots. And you are going to notice, I don't know if you can see on the video, but I'm getting a little bit of smoke coming up. That's totally normal. Nothing is burning yet. Don't worry. If you hear an alarm going off in my kitchen, we might have to pause for a moment, but I think I got a fan running over here and I think we're safe. I got very high ceilings. So I was going to do this outside, but I decided there might be a train that comes by in my neighborhood and I don't think we would want that. So do some different dots, do some different lines. And just like in drawing, basically a wood burning tool is a hot pen. So if you can trace something, if you can color something, if you can draw something, you can wood burn. I'm going to do some hashed lines. So if I were to do some kind of shading and I wanted to fill up a lot of space, you can do these hash lines, and then you can go back in the other direction and do what's called a crosshatch. So if you want to do a little bit of, if you want to do a little bit of the crosshatch, you can cover some space. Yes.
I apologize. Yeah, it didn't come back on.
I see it.
There we go. And just turn it.
Yep. Someone was trying to call me. Okay.
So while you're doing that, there is a question out there. Someone saying that they do not have any marks. I guess maybe it's not warm enough, or what would be the reason why they wouldn't have?
Good point. So if you're not seeing anything yet, chances are that you haven't let your wood burning tool heat up quite enough. Is that okay, Felicia? Yep. Yep. So make sure that you're letting your tool heat up. Also make sure that you press the on button. So there's an on off switch. It's not just plugging it in. You also have to make sure you hit that on switch and let it kind of heat up for a while. If you're getting very light lines, chances are you're moving too fast on your piece of wood. So if you just slow down your marking, you're going to get a better quality line. So if you're moving too fast, or if you're hesitating, you're going to get these dots. You're going to get these extra little indentations into your wood. Also think about your wood grain. And if you're going lines against the wood grain, you might jump your pen a little bit and you might get a little bit bumpy. Or if you just keep going along the wood grain, you're going to get a lot smoother of a line. So now that we've done a little bit of practice with your pen, I'm going to go ahead and put my pen to the side. Hopefully you have a little stand and you can kind of see. I like to tape mine on the table so that it doesn't slide off, doesn't land in my lap and burn me. You know, there's lots of safety to consider when you're doing your wood burning. And now I'm going to pull out my big slice of wood and we're going to go ahead and start our feather design. So I'm still using this point, this flow point. If you wanted to, you could switch to the cone point, and the cone point is a very fine tip point. So you can do one kind of round of light drawing and then go back over it if you want to. Kind of decide which way you think your piece of wood is going to go. And then if you have printed out the template that's available, you can go ahead and use this. In the wood burning kit itself, if you bought the kit, it comes with this template and you're welcome to do this pattern as well. If you don't have any templates or you don't have a printer and you haven't been able to print anything out, you can always just draw something on the wooden slice. You can kind of freehand a feather if you'd like, and then we can go back over with the wood burning tool in order to make that design come to life. So we also have in our all-in-one kit some graphite paper or carbon paper. There's a darker side and then there's another side. So the darker side is going to go towards the wooden slice. And then we're going to place this on top. So I like to put these together and kind of cut around the shape. And my paper is underneath this. I'm going to cut around the shape so that I can place it on my wooden slice and kind of place it in a location that I'm happy with. So I'm cutting this pattern. And I have my carbon paper and my printed out template. You can also use a stencil. So if you have a picture at home that's already in a stencil, or if you have a Cricut or a silhouette machine, you can make yourself a stencil. But the idea is just to kind of transfer some sort of image onto your wooden slice. And just to keep it in the right place, I'm going to use a little bit of tape. So I happen to have some masking tape here. And I'm going to place this where I think I want it. And I'm going to tape it down. And again, if you haven't started heating up your tool, now would be a good time to heat up your tool while we're tracing this so that it's good and hot when we are ready to start wood burning. So I have the carbon paper with the darker side facing the wood. And I'm about to take a pencil, a pen, really, it doesn't matter, something that you use. And I'm just going to trace. And I'm going to let the carbon paper do its transfer. So you don't have to trace the thick lines. You can kind of just go across some of the lines. You don't have to make your lines thick. We can do that with the wood burning tool later on. So I'm just going through this design and I'm going to transfer it onto my wood. So I don't know if I mentioned, but I'm in the Dallas area. And so today we finally had a 70-degree day and it is officially fall. Thank God. But now that I say that, it will probably be 90 this weekend. So here we go. And again, when I'm doing the handwriting of the word hope at the bottom, if you don't like my handwriting, I'm not offended. You can go ahead and write it yourself. So I'm going to just do one line. I'm not going to try and do the full thickness. And this is just giving us a sketch on our wood slice so that we have something to trace and something to work with. So there I go. I've made my transfer. And when I lift this paper up, you can see the sketch. Mine, I think it's dark enough that I can see it. If yours isn't dark enough, make sure that you don't take all the tape off so you can put it back down in the exact place that you had it. But I think mine's going to be enough for me to be able to work with. So hopefully yours worked out all right too.
Hey, Megan, can you do us a favor and just kind of raise it up to the camera just to get a better look?
Yeah, maybe. So
that's good right there, right there.
Pencil sketches, so it's not that light. And you'll notice that the carbon paper, like just with my handprints and stuff, kind of gets a little extra. You know what? It gives it the rustic look. So it is absolutely okay. This is what we're eventually going for. And just to kind of show you, like, this was my very first one. So, you know, you get better and better and better the more that you do it. So just like anything, it's going to take some practice. But I have my pencil lines. I have my hope word down here. And now I'm going to take my wood burning tool and I'm just going to do a once over. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just try to keep moving at a slow and steady pace and pick some lines to go ahead and do. So I'm going to do the main feather line first. I'm going to start over here. Slow and steady. And if you get some bumps, we'll fix them later. Don't worry.
And so while Megan is tracing or she's doing her wood burning, we would love to know how many of you are actually burning with her. You can definitely put that in the chat.
I'd also like to know if you're having fall where you are or if it's still hot. So I'm just going through and I am tracing the lines. Again, doesn't have to be perfect. You might notice that I'm starting to get some of these dots because I'm hesitating a little bit. It's okay. We're going to go back through and we're going to kind of thicken up the lines, and I can kind of make those dots blend into my lines later on too. So your feather can be a little different, or it can be the same as mine. And maybe you're doing the pineapple or your own design. I'd love to see some pictures. So in my bio, my Instagram handle is 4M Coleman. And so I do all sorts of things with Michaels. I have a lot of crafts at my house. It might be close to an addiction, but luckily it's work because I work for Michaels, so I'm allowed. I have a lot of different hobbies. I'm a big rock painter. I like painting rocks. It helps me stay calm and grounded. And I've really been into knitting lately with the hand knitting. So I'm just tracing these lines and you can start to see my feather appear.
Hey, Megan, we do have another question here.
Sure.
There is a question from Pamela. She says she still can't get an even line. Could it be from not enough pressure?
Yeah, so think about how you're holding it. So if you're holding it like a pencil, and also at what kind of angle you're holding it at. So you don't want to hold it straight up and down, and you don't want to hold it too parallel to your table, because then what's going to happen is the rim of this is going to start burning into your wood by accident. So with your lines, you might even want to hold the cord, like I'm holding the cord here, to kind of make sure I have enough slack with my line to not have the cord kind of drag my pen down, and just go as slow and steady as you can. If you want to just go fast, just to practice going fast, and then slow it all the way down to get those nice smooth lines. But for right now, especially if this is your very first wood burn ever, don't worry too much about those dots, because like I said, we can go back and we can hide those and fix those in our design. So I'm just going to keep going and doing my outline. And this is just my first outline of the whole entire design. So I see a question about the wood sealer, and you can seal it at the end. Obviously don't burn after it's been sealed, because that's going to be those toxins again. But in the all-in-one kit, there's some Modge Podge. Modge Podge is a great sealant for just about any kind of craft you can think of. And that might be a good one for you to try and use. You also have the option, because this kit comes with some paint. So if you don't want such a rustic look and you want something a little bit more colorful, you can add some of that paint after we've finished our design as well. And you don't have to do all of these detail lines that I added in, but you're welcome to do as many or as few of them as you want, just to kind of give you something to get started with. And I'm going to go ahead and do my hope writing at the end. And again, I'm kind of holding on to my cord, especially depending on where you have to plug your cord in. If it's pulling your pen away, then it's definitely going to be kind of messing up your design. So you might want to hold on to that to give you enough room. So just slow and steady. If you get a couple of dots, that's okay. And the more quality your wood is, the easier it's going to be for you to dance your wood burning pen across that wood. If it's not as quality wood, obviously it's going to be harder and there's going to be more jumps and it's not going to be able to be as smooth. So this is a really nice slice of wood that comes with this. But I also really love doing, Michael's has some great ornaments that are just like these small little pieces of wood, and they also burn very well and are very smooth. So if you want to do some kind of project with these small pieces, those are really, really great to use with this wood burning tool also. So this is step one. And after step one, we're just going to keep going back and we're going to fill in those lines and make them thicker. So I'm going to go back to my main line and I'm going to just add another line next to it just to make it thicker. And if you kind of have some dots, you want to try and make everything match up with those dots to be about the same color. The longer you hold the tool, the darker the burn. So if you have a pretty dark burn, you might want to go back and make some of the other burns darker so that the colors all kind of match up together. Now you can imagine that you might make some mistakes along the way, but remember you can always change those into new designs. And if your pen is starting to jump around or not give you that even burn, you might need to put it down for a minute too, just to let it heat back up because it's using some of that heat transfer onto the wood. So you might just need to give it a minute and let it heat back up. So I'm almost like treating it like a colored pencil. And I'm making a line next to it and I'm kind of going back and forth like I'm coloring or shading something. There we go. And I'm going to keep going through and I'm going to make all of these lines thicker. Is anyone burning with me right now?
So I did have someone in the chat who said that they are making it with you. And then there are some that are just watching to see if they want to pick this up as a new craft.
Yes. So I have been doing this for only a couple of months. And I was telling Felicia before we started that I'm not big into drawing. I don't feel like I can make something look very realistic, but I love wood burning because like I was saying before, if you can trace, you can wood burn. So yeah, I can trace something. I can find a coloring book design. I can put it on a piece of wood and then I can just keep going over the lines. So if you can kind of trace, you can wood burn. But I know some people who are pretty amazing at wood burning also. And they think of it as drawing with a hot pen. So if you're really into drawing, I bet wood burning is going to be your new craft. It's very fun. So with the in-store classes that I work on, we have something coming up for Christmas where you get to make ornaments. So these were all like designs. I did the exact same process that I just did on this Hope one, where I used the transfer paper. I had the designs, I put them onto the wood slices, and then I made some cool ornaments. Put a little bit of felt on the back of them, maybe sign them and date them, give them to some people. So there's lots of fun projects you can do with the wood burning tool.
You know, Megan, after seeing that, I was thinking about coasters.
Yes. And also like garlands. I'm really into garlands right now too. And so if you just kind of use stencil, I used a stencil to make these letters and then made like a Merry Christmas garland that I can hang across something. So there's lots of really fun things to do with your wood burning projects. When I was traveling in Galveston, I saw in a coffee shop that someone had taken the logo of their small business and put it onto a slice of wood and wood burned it. So I thought that was a really great idea too.
Watching you've given me some, even a baby announcement.
Oh, yeah,
so
that's a great idea.
So many great ideas that could be used with that.
Yeah, and with Christmas too, like, you know, I had a friend who had a baby, so it can be like a baby's first Christmas kind of ornament or sort of thing too. I think that's a great idea. And like I said, you can use the transfer paper and you can basically transfer any picture you can print off of anywhere. You could transfer onto this wood and see what you can do with it. And then also, you can use a silhouette machine or a Cricut machine to cut out a stencil that you can use on the wood or any of the stencils that are already available at the store. There's a tool or a tip that can go onto the edge of your wood burning tool also that's like basically branding letters. So if you wanted to stamp out somebody's name using the letters, you could do that too. So that makes a pretty cool design. There's lots of fun additions to the wood burning tool, and you just use a pair of pliers to twist that tip off and then go ahead and replace it with one of your other tips. So if you wanted to try and use a different tip besides the one that we're currently using, you don't even need to necessarily unplug it or turn it down. You can just go ahead and switch out those tips and they heat up pretty quickly. So when I was designing this slice of wood, I was thinking about the hope is like feathers kind of, is it Emily Dickinson? And that's kind of where I was going with this. But you can have some sort of inspirational phrase or just some sort of picture or image that means something to you and put it onto your wood slice. If your hand, obviously you don't ever want to touch any of the metal part on this wood burning tool because it is very hot and it will definitely burn you. But if the heat is starting to come up your hands a little too much for you, I recommend some kind of like heat resistant glove. Like these are kind of like gardening gloves with that little bit of, what is it? Dipped poly something. And you can use this to kind of just protect some of that heat. So it's not heat proof. This glove isn't necessarily heat proof, but it just kind of gives you a little bit of respite from any of the heat that might be coming up the tool. Also, feel free to put it down and just kind of rest and let it heat back up. Or if it's getting too hot, you can always unplug it or turn off the button and let it cool down for a little bit also. So on my design, you might notice that these lines aren't necessarily on the design that I'm doing, but what happened was I kept making my tool go to the side too far. And so I would accidentally burn this disc in it. This disc would come up in my design. So I just had to readjust my design to kind of hide some of those flaws. So if you're making mistakes, we'll just turn them into a part of the design. So don't worry about that. This is a really good relaxing craft. You can just put some music on and just let the wood burning tool do its magic. I also like the smell of it. I'm not gonna lie. It kind of reminds me of like a campfire s'mores kind of smell. So it's a nice camping reminder. So I'm just trying to even out some of these spots. And I want you to notice that it's not perfect. It's kind of lumpy at different places, but from afar, it still looks really sharp and really good. So it doesn't have to be perfect. This might be your very first time. And with more and more practice, you definitely get better at this. I do love that smell. So I'm also curious, people who are watching, what other kind of crafts you're interested in. And let's just say that your Michaels had classes again. What kind of class would you like to take? Yes.
So Kelly is saying painting.
Yeah. So right now, I don't know where you are, Kelly, but we have classes in Dallas, Fort Worth, Houston. In Georgia, we were in Pooler and Savannah. In Ohio, right now, we're in Cleveland. And we're in Phoenix, Arizona. We have a couple of places in Alabama. And so we do have an acrylic painting class, and we have a watercolor painting class. And all of those can be signed up for in the same place where you signed up for this class.
And Megan, there's a question asking, what are the best woods to be used?
Good question. So I'm not a wood expert, but these slices of natural wood seem to be very smooth and obviously made for this purpose to make these really beautiful pieces of finished art. But as I said, even a very thin piece of wood can work really well. And one of the other things I like about these thin pieces of wood is you might get them in shapes, or if you have a Cricut, you can actually cut very thin wood and you could cut out some different shapes. And then you can use your wood burning tool to kind of add texture and design to something that's already kind of cut out as a wooden cutout. So really, more than what is the best wood is what woods to avoid. And the woods to avoid are going to be ones that are way too bumpy and are not smooth enough. And also anything that's already been treated with chemicals. So another one at Michael's, let me see if I can grab it, is we have these great wooden, like you can make signs with them. I feel like it's maybe 10 by 10 or 12 by 12, might be a little bit bigger than that. And then you can hang it up on your wall. And this is a nice, really smooth, even finish surface too, that can be easily burned into. Yes, basswood for sure. Is that how you say it? Basswood?
Yes.
Okay. All of a sudden I was like, basswood, basswood. Never really said it out loud.
I know that on the supply list, it also mentions about just natural wood.
Yeah.
Where plaques could be used.
Definitely.
There is another question asking, what would be the best paint to use to add a pop of color?
Great question. The paint that comes in the kit, we have 4 colors, and it's just your typical craft paint. So it's our Craft Smart paint. And I think there's 4 different colors that come in this particular kit. But any of the craft paints would be beautiful. I've also seen, especially on some of the thinner pieces of wood, if you use like a Crayola marker, it can almost give it like a little bit of a watercolor feel, because the Crayola marker kind of soaks into the wood and gives it a little bit of a watercolor kind of look to it. So if you don't want to use paint, you could also try using some markers to color into those spaces, and you can end up with something pretty nice that I think you'd like also.
So just to answer some of the questions I've seen about as far as classes, you can always go on to our site, michaels.com/classes, to see what online classes as well as in-store classes are available. We're constantly adding new classes daily.
Yep.
So you can always make sure that the site is set for your location to see what classes are available in your area. But of course, if they're online. So it's wherever you want to be.
Felicia, that's a great point. So if you are not lucky enough quite yet to have a Michael's in-store class location nearby, the online classes are absolutely perfect for everyone. You can grab the supplies. The supply list is always there ahead of time. And then you can come, you can have a friend join you. You can watch it later. You can watch it now. You can go back and try it again later on. So yeah, if you don't have in-store classes nearby you, there are so many good online classes through Michael's. We have free online classes like this one, but we also have some premium ones where you can have even more one-on-one time with the instructor. You could hold things up and show them and let them help you if you get stuck in your project, kind of like as if you were in the classroom. So for me, there's some activities that I really want someone to be near me and show me how to do it. And then there's some where I think watching the video or watching something like this, I can easily catch on and be able to figure it out. So now that I have my basic design kind of burned in, I'm going to show you again my final project. So notice that I had some extra dots, I had some extra lines, I had some extra flair going around. You can extend your hope, you can extend these lines, you can make your own kind of creative design to go with it. Or you could stop here and you could use some of your paint. So it really depends on what kind of project you're looking for. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to change out the tips because I'm going to try and use a different tip for a little bit. So I'm going to take my pliers. Remember that this is ridiculously hot, so do not touch it. Make sure that you're using pliers or something so that you're not directly touching that. And I'm just going to untwist. And you'll notice this little bowl I have. You can use a mug or a plate or something ceramic or something that's not going to burn. And I'm just going to drop that into my bowl and I'm going to take the other tip and I'm going to screw it in.
And Megan, while you're doing that, I just want to address one of the other questions that's out there for Catherine. She was asking if you painted the wood, would you need to seal it? And with that, would it wreck your paint? So my suggestion would be to make sure that your paint is dry before adding any form of a sealant on there. And like Debbie was mentioning, you can do a spray sealant. And Modge Podge does offer a spray sealant as well as its regular formula. And depending upon where you would like to place your plaque, if you want it to be outside, Modge Podge also offers an outdoor Modge Podge as well.
I love some of that spray sealant for my painted rocks and things too. So that definitely works and it definitely has that UV protection if you are going to put it outside. So just like Felicia said, if it's inside, it's a little bit easier to keep from the elements and keep nice. But if you are going to put it somewhere outside, definitely look into some of those sealants and definitely let that paint dry before you add those. So I switched the tip to my cone point so that I can do a little bit more precision work. And so I'm just going to go into one of these strips on the feather and I'm going to add in some extra lines. So I'm just going to go through. And if that doesn't work, it might turn into dots. So we'll just see what this becomes. So I'm going across and just adding in some extra lines just for interest, just to make it a little bit more special. I'm big into like Zen tangles, if anybody knows that craft too. Oh, that's so much fun for me. Very relaxing. And I'm going to go through in one of the other ones and I'm just going to give myself some extra dots. So I'm just leaving it for a moment and letting it burn in, and just making that natural circle with the tip. I'm getting some good smoke signals coming up too. I'm glad I have my fan going in here. And add in some other layer. So this is a little bit light because I probably should put this down and let it heat up, but I'm just going to keep trudging forward because that's how I'm feeling right now.
And Megan, while you're doing that, if you don't mind letting everyone know how they can follow you again.
Oh, okay. My Instagram is 4M Coleman. And you can see lots of different crafts that I'm into. I've been doing some card making lately. I've been doing wood burning. I've been making blankets, all kinds of things to get ready and create different ideas for these in-store classes that are rolling out. So it's the number 4M Coleman is how you can find me. I'm going to switch back because I'm not in love with this tip. And I want to go back to my my flow point. So I'm going to go again, and you can either twist the tool or twist your pliers, whichever works best for you. But you just want to be careful because this is definitely hot and you don't want to touch it with your hands. I'm going to put it into this bowl. And I'm going to take the other tip. I'm going to go ahead and use my flow point again. It's my favorite one. Sit down for just a moment. And I want to show you this too. So this is some of the different burns from some of the different tips. So the one that I had shown you before was the flow tip. And the flow tip kind of looks like a feather or a petal. So you can imagine that that can make some really cool looking either feathers on a bird, or you could make them into some really cool flowers. So it's a really neat point to give you some extra shading ability and taking up more of that space. And then you can see some of the finer details with that cone point, or some of the thicker details with, or the thicker lines with the flow point I'm currently using. On the back here, I was kind of messing around before, but this long burn is one that I was doing with that point that I said looked like kind of a calligraphy point, which is called the universal point. So you can make really wide lines, or you can turn it to the other side and you can go ahead and make very sharp, thin lines as well. So I think I'm going to follow some of the wood groove going on. I'm going to extend my letters to make more with my hope. And just kind of adding to that original pattern with some of my own touches. I like following that wood grain too and getting that nice smooth line with the wood grain. I'm going to make my letters just a little bit thicker. So if I'm going too fast, or if you have more questions, you can always come back and watch this video again. And if you have anything that you'd like me to answer now in the chat, I would be happy to do that. But if this is your very first time wood burning, good job. Way to do something new.
And also, while Megan is doing that, please know that you will receive a survey at the end of this class. We would love for you to fill out the survey and send it back to us so that we can get your feedback to know how this class went. And again, we would love for you to share your work with us. So please make sure you follow us on all social media platforms using the hashtag Make It With Michaels, or will also use the hashtag Michaels Classes.
Yeah, I'd love to see what you're working on with those hashtags. I follow both of those hashtags, so I would love to see what you guys create. I'm also going to teach another wood burning class with the all-in-one kit coming up in October. So if you have a certain design that you would love to wood burn, you can let me know and I'd be happy to accommodate a new design for the next class I teach. Also, if you don't have your kit yet, go ahead and order it because there's more classes coming up. So you can get your money's worth. I'm feeling pretty good about this. I'm gonna add in another set of lines on this one. And I'm just kind of making this part up as I go.
Megan, do you already have the date for those classes by any chance?
I don't right off the top of my head, but I think they're already available for sign up.
Wonderful.
They are on Any Road. And there's a great aisle at Michael's that just has unfinished wood surfaces. So pretty much, again, you can't go wrong when you're pulling out an unfinished surface in that aisle. Just make sure it's not already painted, and then pretty much everything in that aisle is great for you to make any kind of design on.
So know that Megan will be doing another wood burning class October the 2nd. Yes, October the 20th.
There we go. Yep. I was like, am I? That sounds soon.
Yeah, 2nd is coming too fast. Yes, October the 20th. And I will be putting that in the chat so that you can sign up. And she will also be teaching this class again in November. So they are already out there for you to sign up. So if you know someone that is interested, please let them know. Or if you just want to come back and see what the new project is going to be, we would love to see you in our class.
Exactly. I may have purchased some of these wood burning kits for people in my family and told them they have to come to my class. It's a great gift.
Yes.
All right, I'm just going to finish out the rest of this time, just continuing to make my lines thicker and going over some of my details. I'm just having fun over here.
And so just to add, yes, this will be a great Christmas gift, or as we shown the ornaments that were done earlier, will be a good time to get your wood burner now so that you can make those special gifts for family and friends.
Definitely. And it's all the same techniques, just on different surfaces. So once you kind of get used to this technique and keep practicing it, you can take it on the road, do all sorts of fun things with it. So if you end up making something, do go ahead and hashtag it with Make It With Michaels so that I can see what you made. And if I decide to go back and paint mine later, I'll hashtag mine too, and you can see what it looks like painted.
So Megan, I know this question wasn't asked, but how would you hang it?
Yeah, a couple of different things. One, I suggest, I use the other side for my pineapple, is there are the 3M Velcro strips. So you can put the Velcro strip on the wall and on the back of this and kind of match them up together. That would be a really good, easy way to do it. There's also those little kits where you can screw in kind of a sawtooth top to it so that you could hang it on a nail or hang it on a hook somewhere else. So yeah, I would just recommend something, try and keep it as flat as you can, which is why I think the Velcro might actually be your best bet so that it doesn't make your wood burning plaque hang at a weird angle.
There was a quick question that just came in wondering if you have a sample with the painted wood.
Let me see. So if you have the wood burning kit, it comes with some great instructions. And so let me see if I can get this a little closer. There's the pineapple, and the pineapple was painted with some yellow. There's pictures of this on Michael's website also. So if you're going to buy the wood burning kit, or if you know where that was, you can go through and see some of those painted pictures also. And then it also gives you some good details about not doing very great at this, about how to seal your finished project. I was a teacher during COVID, believe it or not, like a classroom teacher. So I was at one point really great with Zoom. Here we go. So you can see how let it dry, probably even overnight would be a great idea. And then you can use the sponge paintbrush to kind of use your Modge Podge to go over it. If you start with Modge Podge and you notice your paint is running, stop. It's definitely not dry enough. Let the paint dry even more before you add on that layer of Modge Podge. I think we're at a pretty good spot. So you can see this one, you can see this one. And really the difference between the two is that I took more time on this top one and just kept making my lines thicker and thicker and more intense. Also, you can see on the back of this one, a just simpler version, kind of similar to what I was going with. So there's lots of different ways to do this. And the more you practice, the better you're going to be. So I hope that you enjoyed this class. I had a great time teaching it, and I hope to see you again in one of our classes. Yeah, I don't think you need to seal it if you don't have paint on it. I think it's fine. The surface is fine.
Thank you, Megan.
You're very welcome. Thanks for coming.